Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a character spotlight type of video, what I've been intending to do for a really long time, and that is to kind of give my thoughts and talk a little bit about one of my favorite characters in all of fiction, be it movies, video games, television series, anime, manga, whatever the case may be, and that is of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, I suppose, Dragon Ball GT's Son Goku. Alright, good stuff. So because I've been doing the reviews for Dragon Ball Kai, the Buu Saga episode by episode, kind of getting a little bit more inspiration to go ahead and do some more videos on Dragon Ball. I've done character spotlights before on characters from The Walking Dead and just others generally. And I figured, you know, one of my favorite characters of all is Goku from Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT. And, you know, it makes sense for me to go ahead and just do a character spotlight on him, give my thoughts on the character himself, because, of course, he is the main protagonist for one of my favorite series of all time, which is Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball GT, you know, you can kind of disregard because it wasn't created by Toriyama, so we're not really going to be talking about that too much, even though he is, of course, a main character in that as well. And pretty much all the way through Dragon Ball Z, we follow basically the evolution of him, even to the point where we get to see the storyline focus on, you know, his sons, Goten and, of course, Gohan. And even further, you know, it ends, of course, with him taking Oob under his wing to train him, so to speak. So I think that out of every series I've ever seen, the transformation of Goku from when we first meet him in Dragon Ball to the end of Dragon Ball Z is one of the most fun, for sure, to watch. I mean, you literally get to see him grow up from the time when he is just a kid, you know, living in the woods type of thing. You know, he's got the magic, he's got Nimbus, and he's got, you know, his staff and stuff like that, entering in the world tournaments and going on adventures with Bulma to find the Dragon Balls and all that good stuff. And we see him grow into a full-fledged adult, and not only that, but one of the most powerful characters, I want to say in the universe, but not even just in the living universe, but also in the otherworld universe and the undead type universe, to the point where in the recent movie, of course, Battle of the Gods, he is seen as like accepted as like a god, like the god of Saiyans, which is really cool to see a character go from that to that. Is a pretty amazing type of evolution as we go through it. There's a ton of episodes, of course, in Dragon Ball Z, and you know, out of all the characters all the way through, nowadays Goku is my absolute favorite. I mean, he is like the perfect type of hero you would want, I want to say, for this type of series. He, of course, always upholds what's right. He, in some ways, like for example, from the wiki, it's I'll just read it to you guys. It says, cheerful, courageous, and also quite naive, Goku is originally sent to Earth as an infant with the mission to destroy it. However, an accident alters his memory, causing him to grow up pure-hearted and later become Earth's greatest defender, as well as the informal leader of the Z Fighters. Throughout his life, he trains hard and strives to be the greatest warrior possible, while at the same time using his amazing strength and skills to uphold peace. There's a lot of scenes throughout Dragon Ball Z, where they kind of focus on Goku's, they kind of hint at the fact that Goku is very naive in the way he sees the world, or it's very, I don't want to say naive, but very simplistic in the way he sees the world. And I really like that. Like there's one, for example, I believe it's filler, but it's in Dragon Ball Z, where they have to go to, I believe it's an interview for Gohan. I forget exactly which episode it is, but Chi-Chi's talking him into what he has to say during the interview, and he basically responds to her, and he does one of this. He does that a lot. He's got this mannerism where he scratches his head, but he does that, and he replies to her like, "What is this, a lying competition? You know, or this is some kind of lie?" And he laughs, and it's so funny, because then I thought about interviews, and I was like, every interview I've ever gone to in my life, could I tell the truth? Like, could I answer any question totally honestly and still get the job? No. You know, and I love that about Goku, is he sees the world from such an honest and simplistic type of view that it's refreshing to see, and we're actually not used to it in the real world because of all the different layers of how we have to live our lives. Like, for example, lying and things like that. He sees it very, very simple as it's wrong to do that. I shouldn't do that, even if it's an interview, whatever the case may be. And he sees people and characters very simple. With Frieza and everything. Evil, good. It's really binary for him in terms of that. And I love that about him because he basically exemplifies the good guy. He's about as much of a good guy as you could ever get. The North American version of him, I would say, is probably Superman. Like, as much of a just honest, hardworking. This is right. This is wrong. There's no, there's nothing in between. This is how it is. Type of character. And I love that about Goku. He's like your kind of like your idealistic hero. He's about as heroic as you could possibly be. In addition to that, another thing that makes him one of my favorite characters is how hard he works throughout the series, and how they show that hard work, and how they focus on the fact that he's not gifted from birth. He is a Saiyan, of course. Okay, great. So he's special in a way. But he's not the Prince of Saiyans. He's not a Saiyan that's supposed to become great. He's a Saiyan that's basically kind of weak when we first meet him. For example, in Dragon Ball Z, when Raditz shows up, and he's not strong. Raditz looks at him as he's just this weak, what the hell happened kind of guy. You were sent here to do something, and you failed. You are not. He looks at him like he's just this weak guy, and basically to see where he goes from Dragon Ball all the way through to Dragon Ball Z, near the end, of course, when he's like Super Saiyan 3, let's say, the whole bit, and is basically the savior of the universe by, not by himself, but defeating Boo and all the other things he's done throughout the series, right? It's pretty amazing to see all that hard work and effort of training. You have episodes and episodes, gravity chambers and, hyperbolic time chambers, things like this that they use, and really what I would say he excels at versus any others is the effort he puts into his training. So how hard he works, his positive attitude, and his focus, where he has total focus on what he's doing, right? And that is what takes him from being just a lowly Saiyan of lowly birth. Of course, Bardock's son, who Bardock was skilled, but he wasn't, like King Vegeta or anything. He wasn't supposed to be. Frieza wipes him out without any, while laughing. He's not supposed to be that strong. And against all odds, you see this character through hard work and through having these traits and just never giving up, even if he's killed, whatever the case may be, coming back, doing whatever he has to do to protect his friends, to save the Earth, and just overall, to simplify it, to do what's right. That's an amazing character to me. That's a character that is you don't get a whole lot better than that. You really don't. And yes, he's not a regular human. He is a Saiyan. So like I said, he has some gifts, of course, that we normally don't have, or in that universe too, humans don't have. He has potential, but he's not the one that's destined to become the greatest. He earns it throughout the series, and that is sent home throughout us watching the show all the way through all the times of training and everything. Even Vegeta, some of the parts that focus on Vegeta and how he talks about how is this possible? And really, it's possible just basically because of what he puts into it versus Vegeta, say on the Prince of Saiyans, all this stuff, blah, 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 and really isn't putting in the same level of hard work that Goku is. That simplistic focus and hard work. So I love that about Goku. I love seeing a character against all odds, just through that become one of the most powerful in the living and undead universe. I think it's just absolutely amazing. So when it comes to a character spotlight, I can get very general here. I can talk about a lot of different things, but for sake of time, because I don't want to go on for too long, he's pretty much my second favorite character of all, I would have to say. Him and Batman are the top two spots for me, Batman being my favorite. But Goku, a very close second. And there's things I like about Goku more, of course, and that. And he's my favorite character from anime. The transformations all the way through the series. I mean, I love all the transformations. I think they're great. The first time, there's a couple for me. The first Super Saiyan transformation, when he's battling Frieza, of course, and he just loses it. That is something that's absolutely just, even today I can watch with the Bruce Faulkner score and just oh man, it's awesome. Still gets me. Or, for example, the Super Saiyan 3 transformation is another one I absolutely love from the Buu Saga. One of my favorite things about the Buu Saga is that transformation. I think it looks really cool. So, pretty much, that's all I really wanted to say about Goku. My favorite character from Dragon Ball Z. Against all odds, someone who you can, even in real life too, you could, just these, the type of character that he is, if you were to live your life similar to how he lived his in the series, I bet you'd be a successful person. I bet you'd be a pretty happy person. I pretty much guarantee it. A great role model, especially because the show Dragon Ball, of course, Dragon Ball Z. It's cartoons, so we generally look at it in North America. A lot of people will look at it as being for kids. Well, he's a great role model for kids. I don't necessarily agree that Dragon Ball Z is for kids, though, because you do have Frieza committing a genocide. You have, there's so many character deaths, so much blood, and they cut it and stuff. I know, but I wouldn't say necessarily it's for kids, but definitely he's a good role model for anybody, be a kid or anybody else, to look up to as sort of an idealistic character that we should all kind of strive, I want to say, to be like in those ways. Incredible character. So I guess I'll just end the video by saying, basically, Kamehameha. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Chip, as always, saying peace.